Hi, and welcome to the Wednesday Word. There was a story about a young man who had lost his job and didn't know which way to turn, so he went to see the old preacher. Pacing about the preacher's study, the young man ranted about this problem. Finally, he clenched his fist and shouted, "I beg God to say something to help me, preacher. Why doesn't God answer?" The old preacher, who sat across the room, spoke something in reply. Something so hushed it was indistinguishable. The young man stepped across the room. "What did you say?" he asked. The preacher repeated himself, but again in a tone as soft as a whisper. So the young man moved closer until he was leaning on the preacher's chair. "Sorry," he said. "I still didn't hear you." With their heads bent together, the old preacher spoke once more. "God sometimes whispers," he said, "so we will move closer to hear him." This time the young man heard and he understood. We all want God's voice to thunder through the air with the answer to our problems. But God is the still, small voice, the gentle whisper. Perhaps there is a reason. Nothing draws human focus quite like a whisper. God's whisper means I must stop my ranting and move closer to him until my head is bent together with his. And then, as I listen, I will find my answer. Better still, I find myself closer to God. In 1 Kings chapter 19, God speaks to Elijah in this quiet way. Elijah was at the end of his rope. He was ready to give up. He was ready to die. But God did not talk to him in the wind, nor not even in the earthquake or the fire. God's voice came in a gentle whisper. But that was what Elijah needed at that time. God's gentle, quiet voice. What he needed at that moment was the calming reassurance of God's presence. God knew this, and he met him in that way. God knows our frustrations and problems and will speak to us in this quiet way. And you know why God can speak to us in a whisper? It is because he is so close to us. So sometimes we have to just stop what we're doing and just listen. Shh. He could be speaking now. Have a quiet week.